everybody needs to go to their state's Secretary of State website. I don't care where you are, but especially in the swing states, in the 7 states of Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, I guess. Florida's really not a swing state, neither is Ohio. But in those most important states, you need to double, triple, and quadruple check your voter registration. We are hearing stories here in Arizona in which people have been unregistered automatically. No reason given or anything like that. So I am telling people now, do not get caught flat-footed where you're thinking of going out to vote and the next thing you know, you've been switched, or you're inactive, or they changed your precinct or your polling station. They will do all of that and then some, folks. So if you're watching and listening closely, you need to understand to go to your Secretary of State's website, county recorder, whatever it is. Put in your information, your first and last name, the last 4 of your social, your driver's license, whatever it is that they use to identify in each state, and you make sure that you are registered to vote and active, and you need to do it now. Do not wait, okay? That's the first thing I will tell people. The second thing is this. You need to vote before Election Day, okay? You must vote before Election Day. The Trump campaign is going all in on getting people out early to vote, and God bless them for doing so. Am I a fan of early voting? I never have been. I'm the first person that told you in 2020, don't vote early. Go look at my old videos from 4 years ago. I was screaming, don't vote early. I was even screaming it in 2022. Don't vote early. Vote on Election Day. Let's swamp them. But guess what happened? They figured out a way to steal the election in 2022 by shutting down the machines and putting the wrong paper, purposely, paper that was discontinued by the manufacturer, and putting the wrong size paper in the machines to shut it down so that you couldn't vote, and then you had to put it in what was called the Box 3 adjudication file, which was basically a way to throw it the hell away. Okay? So it is vitally important that unfortunately we have to play by their rules until we can get back in power. We have got to vote early. I know a lot of you that probably don't have issues on Election Day still want to vote on Election Day, and I'm telling you, please heed my warnings. Heed my warnings. Vote minimum the day before Election Day, 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 days before. If you want to vote now, you can. I would probably wait till 6 or 7 days before Election Day. I will be pumping up the jam and pumping up the volume hardcore once we get closer. That'll be my message, hardcore. But even right now, my message is this. Do not plan on voting on Election Day. Vote the day before or the day before that, or 3 or 4 days before that, so that you know that you're not going to become a victim of shenanigans. I lived through it in 2022. I'm not going to live through it again. And I'm going to make sure that everybody understands how vitally important this is. The next thing, after you vote, your job has just begun. It has not started. It has just begun. After you vote, you then find 5 other voters. And if you can't find them yourself, contact Charlie Kirk. He'll be happy to get 5 to 10 to 20 to 100 more voters in front of you. You go to tpaction.com/commit100. 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 We have patriots in Alabama and Mississippi that are now in Georgia getting out the vote, chasing ballots, and making sure that people are voting for President Trump. We have over 200,000 people from Utah that have come into Arizona and are working with Turning Point Action to knock on doors, to chase ballots, to make sure that Arizona goes for President Trump. It is so vitally important that once you vote, you immediately start looking for other people to vote as well. Okay? Now, when you go vote, in a lot of states like mine, you walk in, they try to give you a felt tip marker. Tell them to take that felt tip marker and shove it straight up their ass. Okay? If you have a state in which you fill out the ballot with the circles and you're going to drop it in the machine, do not accept their felt tip marker. On the back of the ballots themselves, it says do not use a felt tip marker because it can bleed. They want you to use it so that it bleeds. Why? So that they can put it in the adjudication file. Bye-bye vote. You walk in with a ballpoint pen, preferably black ink. No red ink, no green ink, nothing weird. Blue is go black. Ballpoint black pen. You fill in the circles with a ballpoint black pen. Period. End of story. That way we'll never ever have another Sharpie gate. Okay? The other thing, if you're in a state that you don't fill in the circles, and you don't have to feed it into a machine and then get a sticker that says I voted. If it's all touch screen, which I hate, but if it is, guess what? You whip out that camera and you take a picture of the screen of you voting for President Trump. That is your proof, obviously, but also, if you had to, in some respects, sign an affidavit under penalty of perjury, you could attach your picture that shows your vote was for President Trump. Okay? We've got to be so serious about what is going to happen in the next 2.5 to 3 weeks, 3 weeks or so. Okay? So, the other thing I'm going to tell you is this. Follow your vote. I gave the Secretary of State's office, whatever that website is in your state, I want you to write it down. I want you to put it in your notes in your phone. Hell, I want you to put it in your phone. I want that thing memorized if need be. Because I want you to vote, and then I want you to follow your vote. Every single day, log into that Secretary of State's website and double, triple, quadruple check to make sure that your vote counted. Come back the next day, do the same thing. Come back the next day, do the same thing. Do it all the way up to Election Day. And hell, I'd probably do it a day after Election Day or the day after that, just to be that much more sure. It is sad. It is pathetic that we have to take these measures. But when we have a party out there that can't win because they have terrible ideas and they want to destroy this nation, these are the types of tactics on our side that we are going to have to implement in order to facilitate making sure that President Trump wins handedly, and that voter fraud is at a very, very bare minimum. And lastly, pray. Pray for President Trump's victory. Pray for the American people to understand the gravity of the importance of this election and how President Trump must win. President Trump must win. He has to win this election. So continue to pray for America. Continue to pray for President Trump and, of course, his safety. And continue to pray that the hearts and minds of millions of Americans that have suffered in these last 4 years from high inflation, high gas prices, high rent, high groceries, high everything, have finally said, we have had enough. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.